Using SketchUp, you're going to make a project, make a simple house here. This is an opportunity to learn how to use SketchUp for our final project of the year. To use SketchUp, go down to your dock and you'll see SketchUp application down there. When you start it up, it may ask you to start using SketchUp and which template you're going to use. Just the simple template, feet and inches. Click Start Using SketchUp. You see windows off to the side, you see layers and components. I'll bring up components in a minute. Layers are very important in SketchUp. You also see three axes here because you're going to design in 3Ds. So here's a horizontal green axis, another horizontal y-axis, and then the vertical z-axis. And a guy here to give you some sense of scale. There's many tools in SketchUp. What I want to do though is bring up your full tool palette. View tool palettes. Let's look at the large tool set. It's easier than the one up here and you can move it around and get it out of your way. There's some basic drawing tools up here. There's painting and erasing tools like anything you've always used. There's movement tools. These you only find in SketchUp over here. And measurement tools. These are for manipulating and moving things around. Some of this you can use your pen with, and some is going to be much easier to do with a mouse. I'll be using a pen today. You may want to use a mouse. Also on your pen, if you click the button, click and drag, you can change the scale. If you grab the hand, you can move where things belong. Okay, I'm going to start with a house, and I'm going to make a rectangular base, so I select that. Now if I click, it's going to be on that plane. I drag, let go, and I've got the foundation. To make it a 3D box, select the pull tool. If I click on a surface, the surface is highlighted, and I just lift it up. So I'm going to make it taller than our guy. This is a reasonable house, and everything's on layer 0 right now. I'm going to make a new layer for what I'm doing next. I want to make a roof layer. Now in layers, you'll see it, you can make it visible, but you've got to pay attention to what's active. I'm going to make this roof layer now active. I'm going to delete this top, which looks like the roof, and I'm going to build a new one in the roof layer. So I've selected it and the button's blue. Now to get a better angle on this, I'm going to rotate it. That's, my goodness. This guy? No, come on. There you go, that tool. Click and rotate it. I want to be able to see the whole thing. Now back to the rectangle tool. When you click a spot, when you hit a spot, it turns green. And if it's on the end, it will say end. If it's on the middle, it'll tell you it's on the middle. I'm going to click on this endpoint and go to this endpoint. Now it made a plane, but what's different is now if I'm in another layer and I want to hide the roof, I can see inside the house. If I want to show the roof, I can go back to that. Now to distort the roof, I want this roof to come up, so I'm going to pick my line tool, go from one midpoint straight over to the other one, and now I'm going to use the move tool right here. If I pick this line and move straight up, and see that dotted blue line underneath? That tells me I'm on the same axis as this axis. That means I'm going straight up. Now I've got a house with a little pitched roof. Okay, now the other next layer we need is measurement. So make a new layer, call it measurement. Make sure to do all your things, everything that's important in here on different layers, and make sure you're in that layer when you're doing it. So now I want to know how wide, how long, and how tall the house is, and how tall it is up to here. So I'm going to go down to the measurement tool right here. I'm going to measure from here to here and pull it out just a little bit so I can see. So it's 16 feet wide, and I go from here to here, pull it out a little bit. I want to see the height. So I can do that. Whoops. Okay, got it. To here. I'm going to line that up so we can see it's 8 foot 3 inches tall. This is actually pretty much to scale. And I want to know how the roof pitch is. So I'm going to go from there down to the midpoint. And I'm just going to leave that on the wall. So these measurements are nice to know. Once again, if we want to not have them there, we can hide them. Make sure you know which layer you're working in. I can also hide the roof and see inside my house. Now to furnish the house. You need to see components. Go to Window, Components. You can bring this window right up under Layers and snap it in there. Not going to snap. Okay. Leave it off to the side where you don't need it. The layer that it gives you by default is Derek. We want to look up some other components. Right now it's showing you the components that are in the model. We want to look for components. We'll get a local collection. We can go straight to the component sampler. You can get a bench, a car, a door. You could do framed walls. You can search for things in here. You can also search for, in this case, I want a chair. All kinds of chairs. I like this chair. Okay, so I'm going to download it. And I want it to go directly into my model. It will also keep it my component library. I want Stanley to have a place to sit down outside. Okay. So now I've put in components. I've made secret layers to hide and show. I can even grab this component and put it indoors. Come on. Oh, I need to move it. Also, when you go to move components, you see that compass there? You can rotate things. So let's say I select it, and I move to where I get the compass. I can click on that and rotate it. I'm not going to give you step-by-step directions for everything. I think you can figure this out. If I go to the top, oops, undo, undo, there you go. If I zoom in and I'm on the top of the chair, I can rotate it any way I want. Once it's correct, I'm going to zoom back out and whoa, there, it got a little carried away. Derek can have a place to sit here soon. Now, the other point is I want to get a door in here. So to make a simple door, drag a rectangle. I'm going to make it a double door. You can put a component door in here if you want. And I want the door to be red. So select that, red, get out of my way. Now I've got a red door. I'd like you to put windows in here, put some chairs in here, have some fun, use the extend tool. I could add on to his house here if I want to make a small addition on the side. I select the rectangle, use the push-pull tool, and now I've given him an addition. So play with this, have some fun, and read the rubric about making the house. There's just a few simple requirements.